Hello everyone. Have you enjoyed your coffee this morning? Coffee is a very popular beverage worldwide. It is also highly favored in Vietnam. But do you know where Vietnam ranks among the world's coffee exporting countries? And if not the top position, which country are we just behind? That will be the topic of today's story with commentator Hai story. First, let's talk a bit about the history of it. The coffee plant originated from the tropical regions of Africa and was later introduced to other countries around the world. Currently, coffee is grown in over 70 countries, mainly in areas near the equator in the Americas, Africa, Southeast Asia, and India. After ripening, coffee cherries are harvested and processed in various ways. Roasted, ground, and brewed with water. Today, coffee is one of the most popular beverages in the world. Given its role and importance, coffee is a major export commodity, ranking first among agricultural export products in many countries, including Vietnam. Regarding the origin of the coffee plant, according to a legend recorded in the 17th centuries ago, goat herders in Kaffa, a region in present-day Ethiopia, discovered some of their goats. Some in the herd, after eating a branch with white flowers and red berries, ran around tirelessly until late at night. People became curious and also tried eating these beans, finding various ways to process them, and that is the origin of today's coffee plant. The coffee plant is believed to have originated in Ethiopia, and among the world's largest coffee exporting countries. Ethiopia also holds an important position. Let's enter the top 5, with the 5th position belonging to Ethiopia. Ethiopia's full name is the Federal Democratic Republic of Ethiopia. It is a country located in Africa. Specifically, it is situated in the Horn of Africa, i.e., the East African region, and this country is entirely landlocked. Ethiopia's area is over 1.1 million square kilometers, with a population of over 100 million people, a country large in both area and population. More than half of Ethiopia's territory lies on the plateau of the same name as the country, the Ethiopian Plateau. The country is divided by many rivers and deep gorges. When mentioning a plateau, you probably why Ethiopia exports so much coffee. Each year, Ethiopia exports about 390,000 tons of coffee. This is considered the birthplace of coffee, and they often hold the 5th position. Among the world's largest coffee exporting countries over many years, coffee cultivation and export play a very important role in this country's economy. And Ethiopia's coffee industry provides employment for about 15 million people. Ethiopian coffee is more diverse and abundant compared to many other countries in the world, with many different coffee varieties producing coffees with their own distinctive flavors. The traditional Ethiopian method of brewing coffee is perhaps the most ancient way humans have ever brewed coffee. Coffee beans were placed in an iron pan and roasted, then ground into fine particles, or pounded very finely in a mortar. The finely pounded coffee is mixed with sugar in a pot called a jabena. Jabena is a type of ancient pot with a handle. Then it is boiled and poured into cups to drink. The world's 4th largest coffee exporter is Indonesia. Suitable geography and climate have helped Indonesia become a major coffee exporting country. A country in Southeast Asia close to Vietnam and located on the equator. As early as the late 19th century, the Dutch colonizers began cultivating coffee in Indonesia and turned Indonesia into their colony. In the 4th position globally, Indonesia exports 411,000 tons of coffee annually. Indonesian coffee in the past was distributed worldwide by the East India Company under the name Java Coffee because it was grown on Java Island. Europeans at that time had a strange fascination with this coffee. Give me a cup of coffee. Even if the coffee they drank came from anywhere in the world. Today, the most famous specialty coffee from Indonesia is Kopi Luwak. And whenever Kopi Luwak is mentioned, people immediately think of it. This is the most expensive coffee in the world because it is harvested from the feces of civets living in coffee farms. Civet coffee is a type of coffee with a unique flavor and its own class in the market. It originated from Indonesian farmers who previously worked as laborers for plantation owners. And they were very curious about what coffee tasted like, because the plantation owners harvested all the coffee. Then they saw citizens eating coffee beans at extreme, and that was the only way they could enjoy and try coffee. Unexpectedly, this type of coffee was extremely delicious, and since then, civet coffee has become globally famous. The third largest coffee exporting country in the world is Colombia, they export 700,000 tons of coffee each year. Coffee was first brought to Colombia in the early 18th century by priests and Spanish immigrants. Colombia also has a diverse climate, possessing special natural conditions suitable for coffee cultivation. These include nutrient-rich mountainous areas, humid climate, and high altitude, which help coffee not only grow well but also achieve high quality. In Colombia, there are about 600,000 coffee farms, mostly small farms in remote rural areas. However, good infrastructure has helped people still bring their products to the market. Colombia is famous for Arabica coffee varieties that are sweeter and less bitter than Robusta coffee. And leaving Colombia, we come to the second largest coffee exporting country in the world, which is our Vietnam. Our Vietnam exports about 1,700,000 tons of coffee each year and has maintained its number 2 position for many years. Vietnam's coffee history is closely tied to the French. The first coffee plantations in Vietnam were established by the French in the late 19th century. Arabica coffee varieties were grown in areas such as Phu Ly, Ninh Binh, Thanh Hoa, Nha Trang, and later in the Central Highlands region. And now, it is the Central Highlands that is most famous for coffee, not the northern provinces. The war once caused a major disruption in coffee production, business, and export in Vietnam. But after the war, coffee production quickly recovered. For example, in 1975, Vietnam only exported 600,000 tons of coffee. By 2016, it was nearly 2 million tons of coffee. After the reforms, coffee became a key agricultural product for Vietnam. The color and flavor of Vietnamese coffee create a difference compared to competitors. And it is often brewed in individual portions supplemented with condensed milk and sugar. Filtered coffee and iced milk coffee are unique specialties of Vietnam. And Vietnam also has egg coffee, which is also very distinctive. The two main types of coffee, Robusta and Arabica, are both cultivated and produced in Vietnam, while Robusta dominates, accounting for about 93% of the total coffee planting area and up to 97% of the total output. Arabica is only responsible for a small few percent remaining. Vietnam clearly focuses mainly on Robusta. Robusta has a lower price on the international market. But Robusta beans have about twice the caffeine content compared to Arabica, making the coffee taste much more bitter. Specifically for Robusta, Vietnam is the #1 coffee-producing country in the world. And coffee in Vietnam is especially famous in the Central Highlands. One of the most favorable characteristics of the Central Highlands region, blessed by nature for large scale, is that the Central Highlands has red basalt soil. Red basalt soil is fresh and fertile, particularly suitable for coffee plants. Additionally, the Central Highlands has a hot and humid climate, also very suitable for coffee plant growth. And for many years, all countries in the world have exported coffee under one country. This country has maintained its exclusive position, which is Brazil. Brazil has always been the world's leading coffee exporter for over 150 years. On average each year, they export about 2,700,000 tons of coffee. Brazil now still accounts for about 1/3 of the world's coffee. In the past, Brazil's coffee market sometimes accounted for up to 80% globally. This country always leads in both coffee area and global output. About 300,000 coffee farms are scattered across Brazil, and are mainly concentrated in states, such as São Paulo and Paraná, where the climate and temperature are particularly ideal for coffee. One of the interesting things about Brazil's coffee industry is its significant contribution to the diversity of coffee plants worldwide. Many Arabica coffee varieties that naturally mutated or were commonly bred outside Brazil's borders have reached other countries and then become popular globally. Speaking of coffee history in Brazil, coffee plants were brought to Brazil from the French colony of Guyana in the early 18th century. From the very beginning of its history, Brazilian coffee was cultivated to meet domestic and for export due to increasing demand from the United States and Europe. Similar to Vietnam, coffee in Brazil is part of the culture and plays a significant role in the economy. Brazilians drink coffee very frequently, from waking up until going to bed, and can enjoy it anywhere, on any occasion. Cafezinho. Cafezio is a popular beverage. Typically served in a small cup, finely filtered, and served very hot. Risottos often boil wine, add coffee, and enjoy it immediately at high temperature. Thank you for following this story. If you found it interesting, please subscribe to the Hidden Leisure channel, turn on notifications. Wishing you an alert day with a cup of coffee.